Oh, welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. I'm Jack. In today's episode, we're joined by a very special guest, current professional hockey player, Avery Smith. Avery spent the last season with the Allen Americans in the East Coast Hockey League for a little bit, as well as the Topeka Scarecrows in the Fellow Prospects Hockey League. But before that, he spent time with the Athens Rock Lobsters and the Motor City Rockers in the Fed. And before his professional hockey days, he played 2 years at Indiana Tech, ACHA. Dallas Baptist University, and St. Mary's University in NCAA Division III. And then before that, he spent time in junior hockey in the MJHL and the EHL and the Eastern Hockey League. So, Avery, I'm really excited to get you on. So, welcome to the show, Avery Smith.
What's going on, man? How you doing? Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's good to get you on, but I'm doing good. Can't complain. Living the dream. You know how it is. How about you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of nice to be in off season. We live for every game and every day, like every practice. The whole experience during the season, and then after. There is a bit of like, oh crap, season's over. Um, but in a way, it's nice to kind of recover from what we go through during the year.
Yeah, absolutely. But like, what have you been doing in the off season? I was super early in the off season, so probably not much. But like, what are you doing?
Yeah, not a whole lot of anything really. I know it's been a few weeks for us. Kind of went back to the gym for the first time yesterday. Took a few weeks off of like absolutely everything. Um, I played a little bit of roller. Just kind of getting ready for first summer of roller here. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, it's always good to get that mental reset. Or just not do anything. No gym, no skates. Don't even have to think about any of that. And then it's good to clear your mind and then get back to it in a couple weeks.
right, for sure. It's
Yeah,
exactly how I feel.
yeah. But like,
And then,
what's it like playing roller like now since it's the summertime?
it's a change of pace. I mean, you're just going and you get to fine tune your skills and I know even though skating's different, like you still get to work on your skating. You have to use your legs more. Like you don't get as much glide as you do with blades um, so in a way that's good. um, and it's fun. Yeah, everyone just has a good time. So it's competitive, but the spirit is less agitative, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're just out there having fun and just you're able to just really relax a lot more than being so stressed like we all are like when we're actually in season on the ice.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, but you put up a good year this year. You started the year, you played most of the year with Topeka, 47 games, then you spent 7 games in Allen in the ECHL on the coast with the Allen Americans. Like just take us through the year, how the year went for you being in Topeka and then finally getting that call to the coast.
Yeah, I mean, I went to camp at the start of the year in Allen, and Steve Martinson's an incredible coach, and that I played for in Athens for a little bit, um, and I've seen, I grew up. He was a coach in Allen, and I grew up in North Texas there, not too far from Allen, and when he was winning, when he was winning championships. Uh, and that was just awesome to see. And then kind of came full circle, and when he gave me a shot to come up for a few games this season, an incredible time, and ended up getting a goal and a couple scraps, and so felt like I'm kind of trending in the right direction. It's early in my career, but I can find my way into that league full time, hopefully.
Yeah, that's usually even just get a taste of being in the ECHL and like even getting your first goal in the coast like that's pretty cool. Like how'd that end up happening? Just a shot or like what happened to get that first one?
Um, a couple guys I was playing with made a really good play on the entry, and I was just late in my lane, and puck came right to me and took advantage of it, and the pass, I mean, was incredible from Chase Maxwell, and he set me up for the first one, so I'll remember that for sure. But being there and the experience that come with it was just it was awesome to see, kind of the difference in what the next level brings, and then kind of hear from guys who have played in the A or other places. Um, and you kind of get the difference in the levels, and it gives you just that much more motivation to get there, which is awesome.
Yeah, and like,
Yeah.
what do you learn throughout going from the Fed to the ECHL? Because it is a completely different level, and like you said, you have AHL guys and some guys that are contracted to the NHL. So like I'm sure there's a lot to pick up on.
The speed is a completely different game. It's night and day speed. Um, but like IQ and the puck movement, like there's in the spaces where in like certain leagues there's one pass or there's two passes, there's three or four passes that are all on the tape, and through triangles and guys moving and cutting, and instead of trying to skate pucks in certain situations. But the support's there, so everyone's really supportive. Like in the higher levels, like you see when you get a puck, there's someone skating, one, at least one, maybe two guys skating towards you to be at 10 foot, like a 10 foot pass everywhere. Um, so that's kind of the difference, I guess, is just the support and like cohesiveness of everyone skating together and moving pucks fast, a little bit faster. It's just another gear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just the margin of error is a lot smaller, and it's I'm sure it's cool to see that when especially when you're at that level and you're playing at that level, just the differences and like the just how much more crisper things are from the Fed to the coast.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but like you spent majority of the year with Topeka Scarecrows, which is an expansion team in the FPHL, and you've been in Motor City before, and that was more of an expansion team when you were coming into it. So like, what was like being in an expansion team in Topeka, and especially in a barn like Topeka's was?
The support we got all year was incredible. Um, Game day was electric. We had a great group of guys all year. I think everyone banded together and got along, and it's really something you love to see when conflict is minimal, or you know so everything ran smoothly. Our management did an incredible job. Um, Marketing, I mean, that arena, to fill that arena as an expansion team, most nights it's packed full, and the fans were awesome and they were loud. And then the jersey auctions, we'd get to talk to them and build a relationship with some people in a way. um and it's always fun. I mean, um talked to a lot of great people doing like the youth skates. We had I think over 100 people, 100 kids out at a couple of our skates, and we had a lot of people learning the game, and it's just awesome to kind of get to do that and be around all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure the community part was pretty cool because like I've like a bunch of buddies that I played with like Grant, Summer, like those guys have said nothing but good things about being in Topeka and just being in the community and just the atmosphere and everything overall is super solid in Topeka, and like so like that's huge going into year two as well, just to see how things are shaping up to go for year two.
Right. And we had, making the playoffs as a first year team is an accomplishment that I'm happy about. Um, so yeah, I mean, playing the Binghamton Black Bears is tough. They're such a good team. Um, so you try to control the draw you get, but you only control so much, right? So
Yeah, and playing just against a solid team like Binghamton, winning three times in a row now. I guess is just it's a different pace of play too, and you got to just be ready for the best competition there is.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Everyone on that team is high caliber player.
Yeah.
So like, and you go in there and as an opposing player, like you can't really chirp them. So if you're gonna be about it, you just got to be about it. Now, I mean, what do they do? Flash three rings at us.
Yeah.
If like, you just keep your mouth shut and put your head down and play hard,
Yeah.
do what you can. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all you can do at that point is go in, try your best and try not to get smoked.
Right. Well, I mean, you try to win,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, they're just a very solid team. So
Yeah, for sure. But going into last year a little bit, like spent majority of your a lot of your career with Motor City, like a couple like 9 games in the 23-24 season after your college year, and then 37 games with Motor City last year. What was it like playing in Motor City and like just the place in general? Because it is such a fun like area and like you're able to like there's a lot of boys there that I know as well and like they've said nothing but good things about Motor as well.
yeah, we really banded together. We had a great group of guys that played hard, and our identity was we play hard and we had fun, and um, we were in a lot of games. And the first year when I showed up at the end of my college season, we had a really good team. Ended up making to the second round of playoffs and playing Binghamton to a really tight series. Um, but, but yeah, I mean, there's so many great people in Michigan and Fraser and all those fans. I actually had the pleasure of seeing a lot of them this weekend over at the Shadow game uh, for the MIHL championship. A lot of those fans are around there, and they go and they're fans of the Shadow as well. So it's kind of cool to see and mingle with a lot of those people.
Yeah, like that fan base is definitely one of the best in the Fed from what I've heard and like can't go wrong, especially like when like a lot of the guys from Motor City are playing with the Shadow now that just won the championship. So congrats to them. Like it must be pretty cool seeing that from like because you have a lot of guys that you played with over in Motor on the Shadow.
Yeah, it was cool watching them win something, um, and they smoked them. So it was like 12-1 or something
Yeah,
crazy.
that's an ass kicking for the championship game right there.
Yeah, 100%.
And you saw a goalie fight too, so from Summer, so you
Yeah,
can't
summer,
complain.
summer. Yeah, he said I told him, great fight, and he said, "Oh, learn from the best." And so I guess he was talking about me.
Yeah, I mean, you are known for your tilts throughout the Fed, and now going into the coast, you've had a couple as well. Like what have been what's like your mindset going into a fight, or do you not really just have a mindset and you just go in and just go and fight some guy?
Um, I mean, I really try to answer the bell when, but I like to earn it. Like I like to go out and throw the body
Yeah,
and mix it up, and you know, if it gets out of hand or if I hit the same guy, real hard a few times and they don't like it, and those are the times I want to answer for sure. Um, but it's kind of fun playing the Fed because you don't really have a limit. Um, but like going on, like you have to learn how to pick your battles, especially when you're a guy that can play, that can put up points, that can hit, that can like do other things that are effective in the game. Like you have to pick your battles. You can't just go, you know, fighting everybody
yeah.
because sometimes your team needs you for other things, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like what have you learned throughout your time being that guy and like finding your role and not and picking your times like you said, like you can't fight all the time. Like you got to pick your battles.
Um, just just knowing that you love the game of hockey and you want to play hard and giving everything you have to offer um, is great. And like there's a time and place, and starting face off, I'm always down for one. Like that's go time, whatever. Um, but as the game progresses and momentum sway different ways, like sometimes you just can't afford, especially in the Fed. Like you got three lines, um, and maybe an extra guy, and at that point, it's just you need everyone to play. Um, but then again, like let's go. Well, we're always down, right? It's just the timing of it has to be right sometimes.
Yeah, you just gotta go in like if it's there at the face off, like you said, like hell yeah, like let's go. But like yeah, you gotta pick your times. But like I'm sure it's a blast just throwing bombs and everything like that. Like what have been some of your favorite tilts that stick out to you throughout your career?
I mean, I like all of them. Um, I think the my fight last year with Elias was was pretty electric, and maybe a fight of the year candidate. Um, and then uh, this year with man, can't think of his name right now. The kid down in Biloxi. What's his name?
Schlep.
Schlapp. Yeah, AJ Schlapp. Man. Yeah, that was a good one for sure. But I can hope to get him again sometime.
Yeah, always gotta have good battles with guys like that, and is I'm sure it's fun
Yeah.
going toe to toe with those guys, even though they can probably throw hard, but you're obviously throwing hard too.
Yeah, that's the thing when you get like big guys or long guys or whatever, like you gotta attack it differently. But like everyone, once you get to a certain size, especially, is throwing good punches, and any one of them could knock you out. Like, so you gotta know what you're doing, or you could get slept.
Yeah, exactly, and you don't want that to happen at all.
No, no.
Yeah, but like you spent those years in Motor City, and then you played for Athens for a little bit, like you said. But before your professional career started, you played a year at St. Mary's University, NCAA Division III, ACHA 3 at Dallas Baptist University, and then ACHA D1 with Indiana Tech. Like, what was your college experience like, and just your whole college hockey road?
Well, my first year at St. Mary's was like COVID year. So it wasn't really much of an experience. Uh, and then I went home for a little bit back to Texas and commuted to Dallas Baptist and played a few games with them. And, I met some of my best friends I met through that, which the hockey was not, that competitive. Uh, but but the people there were incredible. Um, and then when I got a chance to go to Indiana Tech to play lacrosse, I was also able um, to keep playing hockey. I got offered a lacrosse scholarship, but I kind of talked to Coach DeCrisofero at Tech for the hockey team, and he's like, "Absolutely, yeah, come on." Um, so I transferred in there and had an amazing time. Um, played great hockey. I think in college that was awesome for me because throughout like my junior career and everything, I had given myself, and even growing up, like I always had a lot of penalty minutes, and like for big hits um, and scraps and fights, and juniors a lot of fighting. Um, and kind of in college when that got taken out of the game, I I was able to play more of a skill game and put up points and play a lot of minutes, and that was really great for my game because that's when I kind of realized like, oh, I've always had like the grit and a good time, going in, hitting, crashing, banging. I'd always loved that, and dropping the mitts has always been a great time for me. But once I got to college and kind of developed my skill game as well, um, and like was able by the end of my college career lead my team in points, and like we won our conference championship, and we went to the national tournament. Um, so so that kind of gave me the confidence to realize like I have a complete game. I have physicality, the grit, I have the skill, I can score goals, like and and now I know that like I have the ability to move on and to progress to higher levels of hockey.
Yeah, and like that's big for like your development too, because you're not just that one guy. Like you have a full circle of things now, and you're able to like a full circle game, and you're not relying on just one thing. Where like now you can rely on every part of everything, skill, big hits, like fighting. Like you're a well-rounded player now.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. But like how important was it for you to play both like lacrosse and hockey at Tech? Because like it like everyone always says like you gotta have something outside of like your main sport, or like you like it just keeps your mind busy and not focus on just one sport and have burnout happen.
I think like it was a lot of work. I had high expectations. Like coaches had high expectations for me, for both teams, and I kind of thrived in that environment. Um, but it was 5, 6, 7 hours of practice and workouts a day some days, um, and in hours of film, and um, but what I've realized now that I'm just playing hockey is that the difference in the movement that there is in lacrosse, and like the running and the plyo and like change of direction and all of that is uh, kept me from falling apart. Actually, even though it was more activity and more work, I was always I always felt decent, and kind of I've realized when you specialize a little too much, sometimes you overwork certain muscles, um, and they could create like imbalances. And so I'm a bit more fatigued after this season than I was after like my seasons in college, and even like my first season after college. Um, yeah, so I think it's important to play something else, and I actually want to get into doing playing a little bit of basketball or something on the side just to stay mobile, or yeah.
Yeah, that's huge to just have that. Have you realize that and like just to develop like both more than one skill of athleticism, and just you're able to like you said like your body wasn't breaking down or because you were playing both lacrosse and hockey at the same time. Like
Right.
what was your experience like over at lacrosse playing lacrosse there?
It was awesome. There's a legendary program there. I mean, they make it to the national tournament every year, and they've made it to the national championship game for the last, I want to say, like 8 years. Um, and I don't believe they've won one. But uh, I was there for 2 years of that. Um, and the coaches there were awesome, and a lot of them keep up with me and text me every once in a while. Uh, so it's nice to always have people like that in your life.
Yeah, you always have support from everyone, and it's nice hearing from people and just how they're able to still reach out to you and check in on you and just see how you're doing.
Right. 100%.
Yeah, but like what do you have to learn about the college hockey game throughout your 4 years to really shape you into potentially playing pro, which obviously you got into Motor City after your last year at Indiana Tech.
Um, like I was talking about earlier, I think just having the opportunity. I went to D3 school originally, and I transferred to Indiana Tech, and I was given a lot of opportunity, um, and I did well with it, and and my coach trusted me a lot, and we were able to talk about things when maybe I was bothered by something clearly, and trying not to let it get outside of me. Um, he could kind of he's a psychology guy, so he would kind of see that. He would kind of like be able to read people's faces and be like, "Dude, like you're not okay. Like, come on, come to my office. Like, what's going on?" Um, so it's nice to have a guy like that, and like Coach DeCristofaro, I talk to him all the time still. Um, I I just I think he was such a pleasure to have as a coach because he is the first coach I kind of had that that had seen my game for what it was and how effective it was, and not pigeonhole me into, oh, like this guy is gonna play 7 minutes, and he's gonna hit and he's gonna fight and he's gonna do everything, but then like, oh look, he's puts up points. Like, so um whenever he gave me that chance, I was able to actually show my potential as more than just, I'm a power forward, right? So I like to kind of make sure I adhere to that identity and show it in the way that I play. It's like, Tom Wilson style, right? Like that's a guy that you could say you can model a game after everyone, you know, will respect, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and like that's huge. Just have a coach that trusts you like that, and like you're able to just have more free range than just be in like a box where like you have to do this and this, and you don't have free range to really go to your ceiling, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. And it kind of gave me all the skills to get to the next level. And then he helped me find a place to play after my season too, and that's kind of how I got into all this. And now we're taking the next steps, hopefully, and just progressing our game. And yeah,
Yeah, can't complain. You just gotta keep going for the dream and keep chasing it while you can.
right.
Yeah, but I want to jump into your junior career a little bit here. Like you played for the Dauphine Kings in the MJHL and the Philadelphia Little Flyers in the Eastern Hockey League. Like what
Mhm.
was that development stage going from AAA back home in Dallas in Texas to going to that junior route and really developing your skill set and your mindset?
I think my mindset going into juniors um, was was just that I just wanted to be a bruiser, and that's kind of the role I had always played, was like third, fourth line guy, like just a bruiser going out to hit, and um, you know, play with a lot of speed and crash and bang. And I had a lot of coaches when I was younger that had, put a lot of emphasis on physicality, and that kind of brewed the player I am today. Um, but I mean, but that was my mentality, like for my first couple of years of junior, and I probably honestly all the way through junior. And it wasn't until college when I was like, oh shit, like, oh crap, I can't fight. Like I can't just go do something egregious and get suspended. Like I gotta I gotta play the game. And um I'm really glad I did. And for that reason, you know, I think I might be further along in my pro career if I had tried to go a different route, if I had tried to play pro like sooner. Um, and I've seen guys that I played against in junior come from the league, um, like from the MJ or from other junior leagues into the federal league and progress their way, and it's a little bit tougher route. But um, so I think I might, but you never know. It's all just it's a toss up, right? But I'm thankful for the experiences and the people and everything I got, and like refining my game through college. So
Yeah, you can't complain. Like you're like all the different experiences that you gain, all the different skill sets that you learn throughout the years, like it all makes you the player that you are today. And like especially to be well-rounded that you are now compared to what you were at your start when you were going into juniors. Like you could see that whole development period from junior hockey into where you're at now, going into the next year for next year or next season.
yeah, every stage has been so important, and you can kind of look back and see like, oh, this stage lasted, this long, and this one lasted about the same amount of time, but everyone kind of like they built upon each other, right? So um, as long as we have an identity, but we have the ability to grow and expand our identity to more than one thing, and doing refining each skill at once, and going, okay, let me get really good at this, and then another year goes on, okay, I've got that down now let's try and get really good at this. And as you get more of those skills stacked up really well, then I mean that's where your opportunity comes. So
Yeah, it just raises your ceiling even more as
yeah,
you progress through your strengths and through like getting to that next step. Like you're just building that ceiling even higher.
absolutely, man.
Yeah, but like what like I know like a lot of like younger players are always looking for advice on how to get to that next level, whether it be juniors to college, college to pro, like even like guys just wanting to have fun. Like what's your advice to them to really get them to get better and get to that next step?
I would say to uh, give a lot of shit about your plus minus, and to take a lot of pride in your D zone, and realize that the opportunity comes from you playing good defense, um, and uh, and always try to increase your physicality, right? Because when we practice, when we do as a team and everything, like we're always working on our skills. We're always working on things that go to the game. But when you get into the game, you got to finish hits. So you got to be thinking about, I'm gonna finish this guy in the corner every time, right? Um, and I think that's a skill that is slowly exiting today's game, um, and it'll be even more valuable and maybe even invaluable, um, in the future.
Yeah, I think that's a big piece of advice. Like you have all the skills that you learn at practice and everything, like but like once the game comes, like you actually have to go finish it and go actually do like what you've been practicing for throughout the week. Like you actually got to go and finish it and just finish the body, get hit the body, like whatever it may be, like bury the puck in the net, like make that extra play to get that goal, like whatever that may be.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, man. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I want to get into like your backstory with getting into hockey. Like how old were you when you first started playing the game and you grew up in Texas? Like what was it like growing up in Texas and being wanting to be a hockey player?
Well, when I was really little, my brother was just kind of flipping through channels on the TV. We lived in Houston at the time, the Houston area in the Woodlands, and we were flipping through channel. My brother was flipping through channels, barely old enough to use the remote, and like stumbled across a Stars game, and he was just kind of like glued to it, and he was following the puck, like mesmerized with it. So my parents found roller hockey close by in our community, and we got roller blades, and my brother started playing roller hockey, and I was getting dragged to the rink all the time. Eventually, I started playing roller hockey, and we played that for strictly roller hockey for a few years, and then through friends that we met with roller hockey, we got into ice hockey. Um, my dad got promotion and moved to the Dallas Fort Worth area in '09. So I was 10 years old, and we moved up, and I played a couple years of like AA hockey, and then ended up making a AAA team, and played AAA, through midget through 18U, uh, and eventually got a chance to play junior and go to Philadelphia and Manitoba and live out the dream that my parents and my family and everything had paved the way for me to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's huge just to be able to pave your way into that and just the experiences and everything like that really like there's no better sport in the world and like we all say hockey is the best sport in the world and the different experiences that you go through juniors to college to pro like you'll like it's just a whole different experience it's a whirlwind experience but like it's one of the most fun experiences you'll have.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade anything for it. I mean, I love the game, and I love the people that I've met throughout the years playing it. Um, and I want to be involved in the game for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's just awesome.
yeah, that's huge. Like that's like what have been some of your favorite memories like growing up, like just that really made you fall in love with the game and just the like championships when you're younger, just like being on the pond, like what playing roller, like whatever that may be.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really have frozen ponds down in Texas, so that's that's kind of one I didn't have much of. But whenever I did, like we would go to, if we went to tournaments in Michigan or Minnesota, or if we went to, Ottawa or wherever to play, like we would always go and find a pond or an ODR. Yeah, so I specifically remember going to ODRs in Colorado and in Ontario and Michigan multiple times. So those are some of the best times because we were with the whole team usually, going out there and just having a blast. The ODR is fun still with a couple of your buddies or whatever by yourself and just going and grinding. But when you got a bunch of people out there, it's a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure in Motor City there's a couple ODRs that you guys probably went to or outside practice or something like that.
Yeah, I went to a couple ponds with guys a few times and snapped the pill around a little bit, but and not too often.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
it's always fun to get on the ODR, play roller. Like we're like just having a good time with the boys. Like that's what it's all about. And like those create the best memories, especially when you're younger and like even still like you always enjoy those times.
Yeah, it's incredible. Incredible.
Yeah.
Rollers my favorite thing to do in the off season for sure.
Yeah, like what are you doing in the off season? Like when you're playing roller, like how often do you play? And like obviously like you're just buzzing around with like playing 4-on-4 and rollers. So like I'm sure it's a lot of fun too.
Yeah, I'm gonna be playing some tournaments hopefully this summer. Um and then there's going to be a league out in Toledo um, in July and August that's going to be full contact roller hockey. So we'll be giving that a whirl. And that should be an incredible time.
Yeah, that'll be fun, especially adding contact into the game. Like I'm sure you're gonna be bumping and bruising guys too.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
but like what have been some of your favorite memories playing roller specifically in the off season?
I mean, I like going. There's kind of like the big three roller hockey tournaments over the roller season in the summer. And me and my boys from college kind of played in those together most years with our Bus Central roller team. And
With
that we
Arnie and all those guys?
What's that?
With Arnie and all those guys?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's our squad. So they're always fun to roll with, and we have a time over those weekends. It's just so fun, man, and winning games and just tailgating with the boys outside, letting the gear air out in between games. Like it's just so much fun.
Yeah, those are times you can't make up, and like you said, like just being with the boys, tailgating with the boys, like there's nothing better. Just being in that summer heat and
You
really
could play like
enjoying the
10
game.
games in a tournament, like you play like the round robin and then playoffs. If there's a crap ton of teams, you could play like so many games to
Yeah,
get through.
there's a lot of cool tournaments I've heard too.
Yeah, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, can't go wrong with just buzzing around with the boys, especially with Buzz Central. I've heard nothing but
Yeah,
good things about those guys.
yeah, they're incredible.
Yeah, but I have a few more questions before we wrap this episode up. Are you a music guy? Like, are you listening to music before games? And if so, like, what are you listening to?
Uh, Man, like I have the occasional music. Um, like I'll listen to some like Volbeat or some like Disturbed or something like that. Some heavy metal or even like deathcore kind of like anything that's like really hardcore and like adrenaline inducing. I'll kind of like to listen to that. I think in the locker rooms, a lot of guys like to play like the dance music and that kind of stuff. And man, I enjoy it sometimes, but I think I can't like sit with that for like hours. So a lot, and I like to just like focus and like dial in before a game. So a lot of times I'm like getting half my gear on and like sitting in the hallway, or I'm over like around the corner in like the dry room with like Q-tips in my ears or something. Like I just try to find somewhere like I can dial in. Um, and then once like warm ups come, then we start to get into it, and we like the music and get loose and try and get the boys piped up for the game and
Yeah.
patrol the red line maybe. Yeah, just that's when we start to fire it up. But in the locker room, I'm typically more of the quieter guy.
Yeah, well, you gotta get the juices flowing somehow, and whatever way that can be, like, yeah, you gotta dial it in.
Yeah,
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 like,
especially.
oh, always good time, especially patrolling the red line. You can't go wrong with guys patrolling the red line.
Yeah, you gotta have at least one guy patrolling the red line, and um, when at the start of this season in Topeka, it was me and Schmidt patrolling the red line most of the time. So that was fun, and yeah, and that guy trying to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, those are good times. Good, Schmidt's a good guy too. Like, that guy's patrolling the red line, and just have two guys like don't want to fuck with those guys.
Yeah, man, he'll do anything for the boys. Like he loves to go, and he loves to get Western, and he's a cowboy, so it's uh it's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Sitting in the locker room, that guy showing you videos of him fighting bulls and getting launched. It's like there's nothing like Justin Schmidt.
no, I lived with him in Watertown, and like they're like, yeah, like getting Western cowboy, like gotta love it. Like there's nothing that gets you going than watching Schmidt get thrown by. by bulls and him riding the bulls.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but we had a tough squad between Schmidt and me and Lind, and Lind was, you know, throwing on with guys my size, or the big boys, and hanging in there. So he's a warrior too, for sure.
Yeah. Can't be mad about that. You have all the tough guys in the world there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I have a Instagram Q&A question from one of your old teammates in Motor City, Sam Gagnon, and he said favorite Motor City memory.
Favorite Motor City memory. Hmm. Maybe getting a hot dog in the box after a fight. That was really that was clutch. Like I was kind of really hungry at that game, and I had a scrap and came to the box, and a fan gave me a hot dog. So shout out to them. That was sick.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a first. Bet you never done that before.
no, no, I never had a dog in the box before that.
Yeah, no, that's fun. That's funny though. Like just stories like that where like fans like I saw it at the Shadow game too. Like
Yeah,
someone gave the guys in the box a dog too. Like you're like,
yeah,
hey, if you're giving a dog or anything in the box, like you got to take it.
yeah. I think that and playing golf with Sam Gagnon is like those are my favorite memories, my Motor City memories. Yeah.
Yeah. How's his golf game? How's your golf game?
I'm all right. Sam's a stick though. Like he's a stick. He's got such a pure swing, and he's a lefty. So like I
Oh,
watch his shot, and I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? And I'm like, that was like so perfect. I'm like, now I'm looking at this whole different. But
you
yeah,
just go
no,
up and
he's
shank
fun to
it.
play with. Yeah,
Yeah, but hey, you're there for the boys and just having a good time with and hitting the links with the boys.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but I think that's a great place to wrap this episode up. So, Avery, thank you again for coming on the show. I appreciate your time, and I want to wish you the best of luck with the season next year, and hopefully we play against each other. We're on the same team sometime.
Yeah, yeah. Good luck to you too, man. Thanks for having me on.